Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. And today we're doing another kind of bargain keg, and it's a 5 litre keg. It's just around about £20, £19 if you do roughly a bit of subscribe and save. And it's part of the 52 degrees north range from the Woodforde brewery, and it's voltage IPA, which is 4.5%. There we go. Do a quick, what do you call the bloody thing? Thumbnail. That's not so bad. That should keep everyone happy. So, it's, is there any spill in the back? I just think there really is any spill in the back. It just gives us, it's an award-winning IPA. It's crafted to spark your taste buds. Using the best American hops, brings out the tropical citrus, floral and pine aromas, hands down one of our most aromatic brews. So the look of it is pale gold, the smell is light malt, and the taste is hoppy and fruity. And the bitterness is 4 hops out of 5, and the sweetness is 3 sugar lumps or sugar cubes out of 5. There you go. So yeah. So I've actually poured this, and the head's going down a little bit, as you can see. What did they say it was? Pale gold? Is it me? Am I colourblind? Or does that look like pale gold to you? Jesus, that's a good start. And they can't even get the bloody colour right of their own beer. Yep. Anyway, let's have a sniff, see if they've actually got the smell of light malt. But there's a little bit of malt. There's also a little bit of slight blood orange as well. There is a fruity smell. There is a more kind of a citrusy kind of blood orange smell as well. But yes, you're getting that kind of light sweet malt as well. So they managed to get that one right, but they managed to miss out. There's actually a smell of kind of citrus. Never mind. Let's see what it tastes like. Right. But it is hoppy and it is fruity. Surprisingly enough, it being an IPA. Right, let's break down this flavour profile. It starts off with a little bit of malty sweetness to start with. That's a kind of baseline, which does go all the way through. So it does. So it's a nice baseline of light malty sweetness. You're just getting another slightly bit of hoppiness coming in at the start of the mouth, which then progresses on to the mid-tongue, which you've still got this light malty sweetness. But it starts to kind of progress into a more kind of light kind of blood orange, the kind of slight pithiness. So there's a kind of bitterness there. But it's a light bitterness, so it is like basically, you know, you're kind of eating an orange with a little bit too much of the pith on the outside of the segments. You're just getting that little kind of accents of bitterness, and that's what it's like. So you're getting the kind of the hoppiness, but it's kind of like slightly, you know, accented with the kind of pithy bitterness. And again, you've got this other light, and it's quite nice. It's quite pleasant, and of course you're getting that kind of citrus effect of the mid-tongue. And then it starts going into the kind of aftertaste, and I'm just going to take another one just to kind of confirm it. Yeah. So the malty sweetness is there in the aftertaste. It's prevalent right to the very end. It's probably the last flavour you get. But just sitting on top of that, you're just starting to get the bitterness just building up a little bit more in the aftertaste. and yeah, it just gives you a little bit more sharper. It's not strong bitterness, but there is a kind of a crescendo of citrus bitterness, kind of pithy bitterness in the aftertaste, but not in a sickening way, not in this really overpowering, over kind of hopped way. It's more controlled. Yeah, it's just a kind of natural kind of build up. So it starts off with a little bit of hoppiness at the start of the mouth, starts to kind of come into, start bringing the bitterness and the kind of citrus flavours from the hops in the mid-term, and then it kind of builds up. Just keeps slowly rising until it gets a kind of nice kind of light crescendo in the aftertaste. But then it drops off, and you're still left with those little accents of the malty sweetness. So your kind of last flavour is kind of light malty sweetness and not bitterness. So it just kind of nicely kind of balances it out. So yeah, it's actually not a bad IPA at all. To me, I'm doing a lot of IPAs and kind of citrusy flavoured beers. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Is there something wrong with me? I'm having a crisis or something? But yeah, but yeah, it's actually quite nice, quite pleasant. And again, for the price, I know a lot of people are thinking, yeah, well, that's quite a lot, but not for kegs. When you're looking at it from the point of view of comparing it to cans or bloody flies again, comparing it to bottles, then yes, it is a bit more expensive. But there is a different kind of flavour to it. There is a better flavour to a lot of these kegs if you compare it to the bottle of can versions. Now, it's not just me, other people have been drinking with us and they've noticed it too. It is a far nicer product coming from the 5 litre kegs than it is coming from the cans or the bottles. Now, I know people swear by bottles and swear by cans and everything else, but they all have their issues. But sometimes it's just not the vehicle, it's also what gets put into them. And it just seems to be there is a bit of a difference between what's put into the kegs and what's put into the bottles and the cans. Now, I don't know why that is, but it's not just me that's noticed it. So, if you look at it from the point of view, roughly about £19 to £20, depending how you buy it from Amazon, isn't a bad price compared to what a lot of the kegs are costing people if they're using the kind of Phillips um, draft system. And a lot of these other ones, like the blades and the little subs, the Krups sub beer dispenser, thing like that. So a lot of these are actually quite expensive for the actual beer itself. So sometimes you're paying quite a lot for the actual machines, but you don't have to buy the machines, like I've said before. And I'm just looking at the ways that if people want to kind of try some kegs, there is cheaper options out there, and that's why I'm doing this. And whether they want to do it through a machine like the one I've got, or they just want to drink it from the actual keg with a little tap in the front, then of course they can do that and still enjoy the product. And of course they can chill it in the fridge before they start. So yeah, not a big problem. But yeah, I'd say this is another good one for the price, definitely. What would I give this out of 10? What would I give this out of 10? Including the price and the flavour. It's quite subtle. I'm not saying it's very subtle. It's not that. I mean, they have some good strong flavours there, and that is a nice glass of beer from that point of view. And if you do like something with a bit more hops and a bit more citrus flavour, I'm not saying it's a full American type kind of IPA that's hopped off its tits and everything else. It's not that, but it has more citrus and more hoppy flavour than say a standard kind of IPA or a standard kind of beer. So if you like that type of flavour profile, then you like this type of beer. But if you're not so keen on that type of flavour profile, then you either not like this beer, or you might like it because it's not as bad or as strong as, say, a lot of the beers like this out there. So out of 10, For an IPA, what do they say about it? It's a session IPA, so they're calling it a session IPA, which I think so, yes, because it actually is quite easy to drink. And I think Adrian can testify to that because he was drinking it on the Saturday and he was getting well into it. He was fair enjoying that, so it was. Oh, there, there wasn't a dry lip in his face, so there wasn't. So yeah, out of 10, I would give this. I'm going to give this a 6.5. It's a good session IP, nice price. I would recommend it if you're into these type of beer, or you just want to kind of try something a bit different, or try something with a little bit more kind of citrus and more hoppy flavours. Then yeah, give this a go because um, it's got a nicely brewed beer. It's nicely balanced. They have a nice malty sweetness. I like it because they haven't forgot about the malt and they understand that malt's important. The minute you forget about the malt flavouring in beer, that's where you start basically going wrong when you're brewing your beer. You can add all the hops you like, but you have to balance it off. And one of the major balances is your malt. Your malts and your sweetness. If you're going to put something in there that's very bitter, or it's going to give you bitter accents, you need to balance it off. And the only way you're going to get that in reality is choosing your malts wisely and making sure there's enough of them. So yeah, and what I would say is that, in my view, the better beers are the ones that are more balanced. Yes, you can have a stronger, hoppier taste. You can have more citrus in beers. There's nothing wrong with that. Apart from some of the flavours aren't exactly natural, but hybrids exist, hybrid hops exist, and they're always going to exist. So as long as they exist, people are going to use them. But it has to be balanced. That's it. So yes, it's quite a nice balanced beer. It's roughly about 20 quid buying it from Amazon. I think it's roughly the same from the actual Woodforde brewery. You can get it down to about £19 if you use a subscribe and save on Amazon. So again, not bad for the price. And I would say, yeah, it's another nice little bargain. So thanks for watching. Cheers and bye for now.